Welcome to today's Explainer. Listen, I'm going to let you in on a little academic conspiracy right off the bat. Your professors, your academic advisors, maybe even your parents, they have been getting it completely wrong. They are dead wrong about why you procrastinate, and they are wrong about why you struggle so much to just finish those massive assignments. We absolutely have to stop calling it laziness. I mean, think about that heavy, sinking feeling you get when you're just staring at a monstrous syllabus. I want to validate that right now. You are not lazy. You do not have some deep-seated character flaw, and you are definitely not destined to fail your classes. What you actually have is a brain that is perfectly biologically evolved to conserve energy in an environment that is constantly overstimulating it. Just think about your college campus or your dorm room for a second. It's an endless 24/7 barrage of notifications, social interactions, and digital distractions. So what's actually happening beneath the surface? Well, what we so casually throw around as laziness is actually a hardwired biological mechanism. It's called a dopamine loop. Basically, this is a biological cycle where your brain tries to conserve energy by seeking out immediate stimulation, which completely hijacks your ability to start hard, mentally taxing tasks. Understanding this grounds us in reality. Your quote-unquote laziness is literally just a biological craving for a quick hit of dopamine rather than waiting for the delayed gratification of finishing a 20-page research paper. All right, here's our game plan for today's Explainer. First, we'll debunk that laziness myth. Then, we'll dive into 3 zero willpower systems: environment design, identity shifting, and the 70% rule. And finally, we'll tie it all together with the academic mind reset. So let's jump right into Section 1, the laziness myth debunked. Look, the absolute biggest, most toxic myth floating around academia is that you just need sheer willpower to survive the semester. But here's the truth. Willpower is exactly like your phone battery. You wake up, it's at 100%, and you feel like, yeah, I can totally crush that 10-page essay today. But as you make decisions all day long, attending lectures, navigating campus life, deciding what to eat, that battery drains. By the time evening hits, your battery is completely dead. Relying on this finite resource to make good choices guarantees failure when you're trying to study late at night. You will lose every single time because you're just too tired.
That brings us to Section 2, System 1, Environment Design.
Okay, so if willpower is a total bust, what's the game plan? We have to find the path of least resistance. Remember this, write it down if you have to. Don't change your mind, change your room. Think about how you set up your dorm room or where you sit in the library. If your physical space is literally designed for distraction, your brain is going to take the bait every single time. We need to stop trying to negotiate with a tired mind and start hacking the physical space around us.
Let's think about this path of resistance for a second. Say you're trying to kick that morning doom scrolling habit, right? But your phone is sitting right there on your desk, or worse, your nightstand. You are forcing your brain to burn willpower it doesn't have. Now flip that to the path of least resistance. What if your phone is in an entirely different room or zipped up inside your backpack across the hall before you go to sleep? The goal here is brilliantly simple. Make the bad habit super hard to do and make the good habit totally impossible to miss. Moving right along to Section 3, System 2, Identity Shifting. Now this right here is where so many students get completely tripped up. We need to completely shift the focus away from the exhausting daily grind of trying to do stuff and move towards a fundamental shift in who you actually are. You've got to internalize a brand new rule. I am a finisher. Stop acting like mere starters of assignments. Honestly, anyone can jot down an outline or skim the first page of a textbook. You need to become a finisher of degrees. Just saying the words, I am a finisher, literally changes the operating system of your brain.
Think about it. Whenever you tell yourself, I'm trying to be more disciplined this semester, that word trying is giving your brain a massive neon-lit exit ramp. It basically tells your subconscious that failure is totally on the table. But you don't try to brush your teeth, right? It's just something you do because of who you are, a person who values personal hygiene. When you shift your identity like that, discipline stops being an agonizing everyday choice and just becomes an automatic reflex.
All right, Section 4, System 3, the 70% rule. This third system, it's your secret weapon against that crippling, completely paralyzing perfectionism we've all felt when staring down a blank thesis paper or a terrifying math problem set. 70%. See, we lose interest and we procrastinate because we're waiting until we feel 100% ready to start. We sit around waiting for inspiration to strike. But the harsh truth is, professional athletes and high performers, they don't wait to be in the mood. They operate on this simple rule. If you feel 70% ready, you move. You start typing. You start calculating. You just move. Let's actually break down the science behind why this works. It all boils down to action over emotion. We have this completely backward belief that we need to feel interested or motivated to take action. But biologically speaking, interest actually follows action. Once you start moving, even if you're just typing out a truly terrible first draft, your brain recognizes that you're making progress. And what happens next? Boom! Your brain releases dopamine to keep you going. It creates its own positive dopamine loop. You don't need some magical spark from the heavens to start the fire. The literal, uncomfortable friction of just starting is the spark.
And finally, Section 5, the academic mind reset.
Okay, it is time to take these 3 systems and actually cement them into your daily student life until they're just second nature. Let's do a super quick recap so you can finally stop negotiating with that old willpower-reliant version of yourself. Step 1, change your room. Design your physical environment so the right choice is the easiest choice. Step 2, identify as a finisher. Stop trying and fully shift your identity. Step 3, move at 70% readiness. Don't sit around waiting for perfection. Let the friction of starting create the dopamine you need. You've got the systems now, guys. You simply do not need the willpower.
I want to wrap up today's explainer by leaving you with something a bit provocative to chew on. Seriously ask yourself, what could the finisher version of you actually accomplish this semester? Just imagine it. The grades, the completed projects, the sheer amount of free time you would have without the massive guilt of procrastination hanging over your head. If this reset was exactly what you needed to hear today, I want you to lock it in right now. Leave a comment below with the words, "No more excuses." Make that a public commitment to your new systems. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I will see you in the next one.